we reveal the real value of old coins and their history on the ultimate channel for collectors, Numis Nerd.
The 1946D Lincoln wheat cent may look like a common penny at first glance, but don't be fooled. Some rare examples have sold for $12,000, $27,000, and even more than $45,000 at major auctions. Imagine that in a single copper cent turning into a small fortune. Before we uncover how this unassuming coin could be worth that much, support our effort. Subscribe, like, and share so we can keep bringing you more amazing coin stories and help you uncover hidden treasures in your own change. Now let's travel back to 1946, a fascinating year in U.S. history. World War II had just ended, and America was returning to peace and prosperity. The U.S. Mint, which had used recycled shell casings from the war to make pennies, in 1944 and 1945, continued using that same copper alloy composition in 1946, a mix of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. These post-war shell case cents carry not only monetary value but also a piece of America's wartime legacy. The Denver Mint, identified by the small d under the date, produced over 315 million of these coins in a huge number by minting standards. So you might think every 1946D penny is common, but that's where things get interesting. Among these millions of coins, some remarkable minting errors and high-grade survivors have become collector favorites worth thousands. Let's start with the big one, the 1946D double die obverse. On some coins, you can clearly see doubling in the word Liberty. In God We Trust, or the date itself. These doubling errors were caused by slight misalignments during die creation, and they're among the most popular varieties in coin collecting. Even in circulated condition, these can bring $75 to $300, while pristine uncirculated examples have fetched over $3,000. But the story doesn't stop there. Some 1946D cents were struck on foreign planchets, leftover metal blanks meant for coins of other countries. For example, a few were struck on thinner, lighter brass planchets, weighing around 2.8 grams instead of 3.11 grams, or even on silver dime planchets by mistake. These wild minting errors are incredibly rare and can bring $5,000 to $20,000 or more, depending on the metal and condition. And then, of course, we have the Holy Grail, the 1946D, in mint state red condition, graded by PCGS or NGC as MS67 or higher. While most surviving coins show wear, scratches, or dull toning, a few lucky ones remained untouched and perfectly preserved. Those radiant red examples with full original luster have sold for jaw-dropping sums, one graded MS67 plus. Red brought nearly $27,000, and the finest known graded MS68 red achieved more than $45,000 at auction. It's incredible how condition can make all the difference. A coin worth a few cents in worn condition could be worth tens of thousands if it's flawless. That's why collectors always emphasize proper storage, avoiding fingerprints, moisture, or cleaning, all of which can destroy a coin's grade and value. There's also a fascinating connection between the 1946D and the wartime coins that came before it. The 1943 steel cents and 1944-1946 shell case cents form one of the most interesting chapters in the Lincoln series. Collectors love this trio because it tells a complete story, from the steel pennies experiment to the recycled wartime brass, and finally, the return to traditional coinage after peace returned. Even though the 1946D isn't rare by mintage, it stands out for collectors because it's the last year. The mint used leftover wartime brass, making it a symbolic coin that closed an era. If you're checking your own change or old penny jars, here's what to look for. A small D mint mark under the date. Strong, crisp details in Lincoln's hair and coat. A bright red color and minimal contact marks. Any signs of doubling or off-metal color that might suggest an error. Even regular 1946D cents in brilliant uncirculated red condition can bring $20 to $75, and red-brown examples about $10 to $30. But the key to big money is perfection, or a dramatic minting mistake. For instance, off-center strikes, broad strikes, or die cracks from 1946D can fetch $50 to several $100s, depending on how visually striking they are. And if you ever find one struck on a foreign planche, you could be looking at a double die, worth more than a luxury vacation, or even a down payment on a house. So the next time you come across a 1946D Lincoln wheat cent, take a closer look before tossing it aside. Look for doubling, inspect its shine, and maybe weigh it if it looks unusual. Because among those millions of post-war pennies, there are still hidden gems waiting to be found. Coins that prove even the humblest cent can carry. A $45,000 story from America's history.